tropical biodiversity, and some conservation activities related to this tropical biodiversity. So we start with the chapter 1, which is the introductions about biodiversity and the conservation itself. Now, from this or in this introductions, we will learn a little bit about what is ecology, which is, the science or the scientific study of relationship between living organism and their environment. So because when we talk about biodiversity, we actually will discuss about organism, about species, how they adapt into their environment, and then what kind of interactions that happenings on that special habitat or on that special place or ecosystem. So that's the reason why we're going to learn a little bit about what is ecology itself in order to study about biodiversity and conservation. So again, we will learn about the living organisms. Okay, so living organisms, and then relationship between them, and also relationship between this organism to their environments. Okay, including the interaction with it one another and with their physical environment. Now, in ecology, there are several levels of study. One of them, which is called the organismal ecology, it will study the adaptation. So when we talk about adaptations of species or organism into their ecosystem, we are actually studying the organismal ecology. Okay. And then there is another type ecology is called the populations ecology. So this is the study that will focus on the number of individual within certain area and how this population grow or change. Okay, so this is population ecology. And there is another level, it's called the community ecology. This is study of the process that driving interaction between species. So if in the population ecology, we only talk or discuss one species, population is certain species, like for example, human population, for example, how they grow, what is the number, what change after 1 year, for example, how they reproduce, that's going to be population ecology. But if we learn about many species in the ecosystem, this will be community ecology. So just to be sure that you know that community ecology only study the living organisms. It will not study about non-living environment. So it's just study how many species, for example, on that place, on that ecosystem. It will not try to correlate with the physical environment, with temperature, with soil, with water, for example. So when we study them plus their environment, then that level will be ecosystem ecology. So this ecosystem ecology will study all of these species and their interactions within or with their environment, okay, including how the energy flowing, how the material cycling on that ecosystem. Okay, so that's gonna be ecosystem ecology. Sometime, okay, in general divisions, they study, most of the time overlap one another. Sometimes we talk about organismal ecology. At the same time, we might also learn about the ecosystem, ecosystem ecology, because when we talk about the adaptation of organism to their environment, then we will also learn about their environment. And most of the environment will be studied in the ecosystem ecology. So just for your informations, sometimes this definition or this study, they interchange or they are correlated one to another. Now, this is just illustrations about that type of levels, okay? A level in ecology. So again, organisms, this is all, this is uh, all living things. Okay? We talk about certain or specific organisms in the spatial habitat in the certain area. So this is organism. So organism is living thing. Yeah, so living things. Now population, this is when we learned about species, okay, in population. So how they interact within the same species, how they grow, how the population grow, how they reproduce, how they mating, for example. So this is will be studied in population. Again, populations only study of one type of species. Yeah? So a group of one type of species. Okay. Now, when we combine this different population, then our study is called communities. So community is all organisms within different species in the specific place or in the specific ecosystem. Okay, so this is all species, all organisms. Again, when we talk about community, okay, it's just study of living things, which is organism over here. So all organisms within different species will be considered or will be defined as community. Again, community only focus in living things. Then when we add the physical environment, for example, the atmospheric temperature, the rains, the soil type, the water, okay, and the nutrients, for example, then our focus will be on the ecosystem. So basically, ecosystem is community plus, okay, non-living environment. Okay, so this will be ecosystem. Okay, so community is all population. So organism, species make population. Populations organize, okay, interact one another to create community. Community plus the non-living environment is now become ecosystem. Now, when we talk about all ecosystem on Earth, we call it as a biosphere. So biosphere is all ecosystem on Earth. Okay, so biosphere is all type of ecosystem on Earth, maybe marine ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, rainforests, and etc. They all will be combined to make what we call the biosphere. So biosphere, again, is all type ecosystem on Earth. Now we're gonna learn also the difference between habitat and niche. So this is really important for us when we study in the field, when we making observations, excursion or exploration, for example, we have to be able to differentiate or distinguish what is the difference between habitat and niche. Okay. Now, before we go this again, we also have to know what is organism. Organism is a living thing. eh? Organism is a living thing. So an organism is one living thing, okay? One individual of living things, which has specific characteristics such as consists of cell. So all organism, all living things will have cell. So the one that do not have cell is not considered as an organism. Okay, because this is the first characteristic of organism, which is consists of cell. Maybe only one cell is called the unicellular organism, like bacteria, some protozoa or algae, they are unicellular. But many organisms, they have a lot of cells. It's called a multicellular organism. So again, but their characteristic, the first characteristic of organism that they have cell. So they consist of cell, whether one or many. They also perform what we call the metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is all chemical reaction inside the cell, inside the organism. If it is unicellular organism, then this metabolism is all chemical reaction in that unicellular cell. If it is multicellular organism, then these metabolisms will be all chemical reaction within the cell and also within the tissue and organs or inside the body of organism. Okay, that's what we call metabolism, all chemical reaction. And then they also have characteristic that they able to reproduce. Of course, okay, this is logical, understandable. In order to be exist, in order to be stay living, this organism have to reproduce. They have to create new individual. They have to produce their kids, their offsprings in order to continue their living as an organism. And also, okay, organism will respond to the stimulus. Okay, respond to the stimulus. Sometimes, yeah, like for example, plants, maybe, we think that they are not responding to the stimulus. They do. Like many plants, why they're growing tall? Because they respond to the light. They try to reach the light in order to be able to perform photosynthesis, for example. There is also a response that happening inside the cell. There are some plant also, when you touch it, they able to, for example, close their part of their body. They can close their leaves, for example, or they can close part of their flower, and etc. Okay, so this is a response to the stimulus. All organisms will have this characteristic, which is they consist of cell, they perform metabolism, they reproduce, and they will respond to the stimulus. Now, what is a habitat? Habitat is a very simple definition, is the place where an organism live. So this is habitat. Okay, like for example, bisons, their habitats will be grassland. Lion, for example, their habitat may be the savanna. Jaguar, their habitat may be a forest, tropical forest, for example. Okay, so again, habitat is very simple. This is the place where an organism lives. Now, what is a niche? Okay, niche is part of the habitat actually that will be related to the roles and functions of specific organism. So this is specific roles and function of an organism in the habitats. Okay, this is very important for you to know that each organisms will have their own niche. There will be no two or more organisms that will have the same niche. Because what? Because their roles will be different. If it is happening, like for example, two or three organisms occupy the same needs, then they will compete. They will fight until, okay, one of them will die or will move to another part of habitat to perform their roles and function. Okay, so I hope it is understandable. So the needs is actually related to the roles and function of organism within or in the habitat. Okay, again, there are no two or more organism will have the same needs. Each organism, one organism will have one needs or specific needs only. For example, bison. So a bison lives in grassland. So grassland is the habitat for this bison. And you know that in the grassland there will be maybe hundreds or thousands of bisons. Okay, but okay, within certain time, okay, there will be no two bison will occupy one part of habitats. Okay, uh, if they do, they will compete. They will compete. They will fight. So only one bison will have a needs, one needs or specific needs on that habitat. If other bison coming to that place, then this bison will try to remove that, will try to fight to make sure that the other bison will not take their his or her needs. Okay, so this is again the difference between habitats and needs. There are two type of species based on the habitat and the needs. Okay, so based on the habitat and needs, there will be two type of species. The first one is called the generalis. What does generalis mean? This is species which live in wide variety of geographic area or wide variety of habitats. So it means that they will be abundant. They will be everywhere. So this is generalis. For example, mouse or mice. So mice is a generalist. You will find them maybe in the forest. You will find them in the local populated human habitats. Yeah, and you will find them maybe in dirty places. You might find them maybe in a tropical area. You might find them also in the temperate zones. So they are everywhere. So they have wide variety of habitats. This is what we call the generalists. Okay, so most of them they have the very good adaptation for different type of habitats. The second type, this is the one that only have very small variety of habitats. Okay, this is what we call the specialist. So specialist species is species which is naturally found only in the specific geographical area or on the specific habitats because they are only, for example, adapted to specific things that present on that place. Okay, that is usually maybe restricted in their size, in their food, availability of the food, and etc. Examples, okay, maybe panda, for example. Panda is considered a specialist because they only live in part of the China that have uh, availability of their food, which is special bamboos, bamboos plant or trees. Uh, Another type is koala, for example, in Australia. Okay, they only eat specific type of plants. Uh, for plant itself, there are special cactus, for example, that only live in certain type of temperatures in Arizona. Okay, so this is a specialist. They uh, geography area or habitat is very limited. Okay, so this is the different type of species based on habitat and niche, which is generalist or maybe specialist. And again, I'm gonna put the examples over here. Okay, panda bear. Yeah, if you like Kung Fu Panda, you will see this panda bear. Koala, for example. Yeah, they are. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is wrong place. Sorry. Now we're talking about specialists like mice, raccoon, for example. They are generalists. Okay. So example of specialists, yeah, most of them is called the endemic species, which is only found on that specific habitats. Example is panda bear, koala, example. Yeah. So they are only present in that specific place. Now, biogeography. What is biogeography? And the name is telling you this is related to place, geography, and related to the living biology. Okay, so this is biogeography will be the study of geographic distribution of living things. This is the biology over here. Okay, so geography is the place, and biology is living thing. Bio is living thing. So biogeography will be the study of distribution of living things, okay? And the abiotic factor like air, water, soil, temperature, humidity that affect this distribution. So when we talk about biogeography, then we will talk about the physical conditions on specific area, like the temperature, the humidity, uh, annual rainfall, etc., that will contribute to the distributions of the living thing, the bio, the living things. So the abiotic factors that usually used in biogeography study is the temperature and the rainfall. This is the two biggest abiotic factor that will limit. Okay, so these two abiotic factor or physical factors, yeah, will limit the distributions of organisms. This is the two main factor that usually will limit distributions of organisms. Okay? Therefore, okay, based on these two abiotic factors, okay, the group of communities that will be present on Earth uh, will be divided into several big groups, which is called the biomes. So biomes, okay, is a special compositions of organism that is affected by, okay, is affected by temperature and rainfall, annual rainfall. So these two abiotic factor will create what we call the biomes. Biomes is a group of, community or organism that will have specific characters in it. Okay? Therefore, it can be grouped into one biome, for example, that will be different with another type of biomes. Now, uh, an important characteristic of each biome is its biodiversity. So different biomes will have different biodiversity because they have different temperature, different rainfall, okay, and also the number and variety of biological species. Okay, so this is each biome will have specific character of this type of species that live on that specific biomes. And usually biomes, because temperature, rainfall will spread all over the earth, on earth, then they will actually spread based on the latitude and altitude. Okay, altitude means the height. So like for example, in the mountains, you will have different type of biomes within the valley, okay, of the mountain and the top of mountains. You're gonna see the stratification of communities on that place. So each stratification will create a biome that will be different from one biomes to another biomes. The latitude, so this is altitude based on height, altitude, okay, based on height, height, okay. The latitude, it is based on different temperatures on Earth. You're going to have, like, for example, tropical area. Okay, in the tropic, you have tropical area goes to the tundra, which is Arctic. Okay, so this is hot. This is very cold. Okay, and then between them, you're going to have stratifications also. You are going to have one biome over here, another biomes, and etc. Right? So this is going to be very similar with the stratification based on the altitude. You have one biome, two, three, four, five, and etc. based on the height. And this is based on the lines on the Earth. Now, we will have an observations for this study, observations of biodiversity, ecology, conservations in Costa Rica. So we will use Costa Rica rainforest for our study. And just for your information, in the Costa Rica rainforest, it has a very high biodiversity. This is considered as one of the what we call the hotspots of biodiversity because there are so many species, different species that live in this Costa Rica rainforest. For example, there are over 1,100 species of birds. There are over 250 species of reptile. There are over 240 species of mammals that live in the Costa Rica rainforest. There are more than 1,200 species of butterflies and also over 300,000 species of insect. Just for information, butterfly is also insects, okay? And insect is the most abundant type of animals on Earth. Okay? You're gonna see a lot of insects in this rainforest. And again, the type of ecosystem that we'll study or the type of biomes that we'll study in this class, okay, is a tropical rainforest. It's a tropical rainforest. The name is telling you it is located in the tropical area and it will have a lot of rain. It's going to be humid, wet, hot at the same time. So the temperature average range from 70 to 85 degree Fahrenheit or 21 to 30 degree of Celsius. And the rainfall is, high, very high, up to or even over to 400 inches annually or up to 1,000 centimeter annual rainfall. And it's very humid. It's higher, range between 77 to 88% year round. So it is hot, humid, wet, year round. So this is the Costa Rica rainforest. So I think this is enough for introduction. We will continue with the chapter 2 next. Thank you and goodbye.